Geography. Looking at the map, we can notice that China is giant but insulated at the same time from the rest of the world. It is surrounded by the Pacific Ocean in the east, the Gobi Desert in the north, and next to it, the Taklamakan Desert, the plateau of Tibet in the west, and the Himalaya Mountains to the southwest. Even though two-thirds of China are covered by desert. 90% of the fertile soil is between Yangtze River, which is flowing of Himalaya mountains into Pacific Ocean, and the Huanghe River, flowing into the Pacific Ocean, also called Yellow River, because the sediment pulled by the water stains it yellow. Seasonal winds cause heavy rains and floods, which destroy the surrounding areas. A dynasty is a family that rules for several generations, and it is determined by the mandate of heaven. The ruler was considered the link between heaven and earth. The one in command was expected to be victorious and rule to please the god. Xia dynasty around 2000 BCE. The Xia dynasty was known because of ancient legends. There's a legend that Jude the Great, founder of Xia dynasty, was the first person to figure out how to flood control.
Shang Dynasty from 1600 BCE to 1046 BCE. They built China first cities around 1760 BCE. They also wrote down oracle bones. This had the first China grading system using characters to represent words. Historians don't know exactly how long this system was used, but all these examples are from his dynasty. It was believed that their ancestors could help them after their death, through oracle bones. It was believed that in the dynasty they used calendars. First it was lunar based, but a solar based was developed by Wan Nian. Farming was important, but was under aristocratic control. Farmers gave food to their local noblemen in exchange of protections. Aristocrats relied on the land for wealth and passed down the power from generation to generation. So dynasty. In this dynasty, they developed a new system for controlling the vast amount of the land under the mandate, feudalism. In this ruling system, the king can control all the land, so he has to delegate power. It means that the king may give the power of a part of territory to official or to his son. The Zhou dynasty mastered the use of iron. They create iron swords, knives, axes, etc. But also they create farm tools to grow rice more efficiently. During this period, kings built forts and walls to defend the land against each other. They were divided in 7 territories governed by officials. Warring states. These territories start a fight with each other for power. This period is called Warring States. 475 BCE to 221 BCE. After about 500 of years of fighting, the ruler of Qin, Xin Huangdi, became the first emperor of China. He began the construction of the Great Wall of China. Its length is longer than the distance from New York City to Milan, Italy.
The Han Dynasty followed this rebellion, the Warring States, beginning around 206 BCE, and this dynasty began trading with the Western world through the Silk Road, a trade route from China all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, and these merchants mainly exported silk made by silkworms. Silk Road wasn't just a road. It was more like a 4,000-mile long system of trade routes that connected China with Europe, Middle East, and North Africa. Um, This wasn't a safe journey because bandits, murderers, and Mongol armies were all over the place. Aside from the silk, Chinese merchants sold spices, ivory, horses, wool, etc. The most acknowledged Chinese inventions were paper, gunpowder, and the compass, but not many people say that they invented alcohol, toothbrushes, soccer, nail polish, photography, card games, toilet paper, and forks. Maybe this is another point of view of the Chinese culture because from the very beginning they were great exporters.
Confucianism. Confucius was a philosopher that lived from 551 BCE to 479 BCE. His thoughts on ethics, good behavior, and moral character were written in several books by his disciples, the most important being the Lunyu. Confucianism's main idea is the importance about good morals, because they can affect the world through the idea of cosmic harmony, or the idea of filial piety. Confucianism holds that there are 5 human relationships: ruler and ruled, a relationship of respect and obedience towards a king or emperor; friend and friend, an equal relationship with the same amounts of respect towards each other; husband and wife, relationship of love, respect, and obedience; older sibling and younger sibling, listening to the eldest sibling and respecting them; and father and son, listening to your father and taking care of him as he grows old. Other relationships like father and daughter or mother and son weren't classified by Confucius. Taoism. Taoism is another philosophy that developed around the 500s BCE, and it's based on the writings of Lao Tzu. Followers believe that peace comes from living a life in harmony with nature, through living simple and selfless lives. The yin and the yang is probably the most well-known Taoist symbol. Yin, the dark side, represents shade, water, west, and the tiger. Yang, the light side, is associated with light, fire, east, and the dragon. Separately, they represent opposite ideas, but together they represent balance and harmony. Taoism significantly influenced Chinese culture. The recognition that all things and all people are connected is expressed in the development of the arts, which reflect the people's understanding of their place in the universe and their obligation to each other.